Welcome to Democracy-ish. I'm Danielle Moodie.
And I'm Wajahat, and I am prepared to pay more for everything. Don't you feel great again, Daniel? Breaking news. It's just wonderful. As we are recording this right now, Trump threatens an additional 50% tariffs on China, which could bring the tariff rate for some Chinese imports to more than 100%. Tariffs are taxes that are paid by the American consumer. They are inherently inflationary. So we have seen in the past week that instead of bending the knee to Donald Trump's trade war and kissing the ring, we have seen countries retaliate, like Canada, like China, like EU. So, Danielle, I know you love coffee, and you know Americans import coffee. How much are you prepared to pay for your beloved coffee?
So funny enough that you say this, because yesterday I ran out of my favorite beloved coffee.
I was thinking about you.
Right. And I went to my local market. And so I had been buying my coffee from Amazon before I decided, like millions of other people, to boycott Amazon, which I haven't bought anything from in now months, actually.
Well done. Well done.
So I, started buying my coffee at Amazon because it was way cheaper than what was at the grocery store. I go to the grocery store because I'm like, fuck, I need coffee, and I'm not buying it from Amazon. Why was my coffee is expensive anyway? So let me just make a caveat at that it used to be $10.99 and now it is $13.99 at the market. So either I need to cheapen my tastes or start growing coffee beans off of my patio. I don't know which one.
Listen, folks,
I'm gonna have to do.
All of us poor writers and podcast hosts need like a one perk or luxury. For Danielle,
it's fucking coffee.
It's her coffee. It makes her happy.
Like,
she sits there worrying about. She's like, the economy might collapse and there might be fascism. At least I'm enjoying this.
At least I have this one fucking perk. Yeah. So for Waj, people are saying that you are in newscaster mode this morning. Do you want to tell them why you look so fancy today?
So I'm wearing pajamas. So I want people to know that I'm in my pajama mode. I just finished Piers Morgan. It was the first time in a month and a half I did his show. And folks, I won't lie, it was kind of fun because as I was doing Piers Morgan literally 10 minutes ago, all this news was breaking. And Pierce and the two other MAGA panelists, for the first time in about a year and a half, they were trying to polish this turd, Danielle. They were really trying to. What'd
they say? What'd they say? Give us some highlights of the things that they're trying to convince us of, that this tariff war. And let me just, as you tell us the story, where the markets are right now, because I keep looking every so often.
So they tried to talk about immigration. How come no one's talking about immigration? Then they talked about Joe Biden, how he was old and had dementia. Then they made lies, which I corrected in real time, about Joe Biden's economy was terrible, and I came in and fact-checked them. Then they talked about how Donald Trump is fulfilling his promise of being a bulldozer, and this is what the people wanted.
He is.
Yeah, I said, no, people wanted repair. They didn't want their home to blow up. Anything and everything they tried, you could tell they were in massive desperation mode. And this is the best part. And I called them out on this. Well, listen, Americans, in order to take on the establishment and the elite, we're just going to have to, go through some things for a little bit. And then Richard, who is, you've seen this guy, I'm forgetting his last name, the British guy who comes and talks about the economy. He agreed with me the whole time and vice versa. He talked about his neighbor who's a 93-year-old woman in the UK who might lose her pension. And literally Clay Travis was like, she survived the Blitz. She can survive this. And maybe she can buy the dip. And so I told them, my final point to them was, listen, unsolicited political advice. Donald Trump was elected. Remember why he was elected? Because he was going to bring down the price of eggs. And as Danielle reminded us, Americans are painting potatoes instead of eggs because they can't afford eggs. What did Donald Trump say? He's going to promise to automatically bring down inflation. Inflation is going up. And I told them, and it had no response. I said, unsolicited advice. When you're wealthy like you guys are, when you're millionaires like J.D. Vance or Megyn Kelly, maybe don't tell Americans who are struggling, to hold on to their social security, to their pensions, to their 401k, who are living paycheck to paycheck, who are trying their best just to survive, to buy the dip when they have nothing even
When
to
they
pay
have
for their rent.
fucking nothing. It
This
just like
makes it sound elitist and out of touch. This is just my political advice to you. They kept quiet.
so here's the thing. So it was on Friday. I'm watching CNBC. Right. And that's the only thing that I'm watching these days. I don't watch any of the cable news, but I am watching CNBC because I want to hear what these business analysts are saying about this moment and what excuses some of them are making and what real talk others of them are giving. And there was this woman, God, I wish I knew her name. But she got on there talking about how Donald Trump is making it so young people are able to enter into the market with prices so low. And I almost threw Waj my fucking remote control at the TV because I'm just like, making it so young people can enter the market. Young people can't leave their parents' basement. How about that? How about you voted so that the Supreme Court would turn around and ensure that they couldn't get student loan debt relief? Maybe
right.
if they had relief from their student loans that have them in 6 figures worth of debt for a 4-year education, maybe then they would have a little extra money to go ahead and go buy the fucking dip. But these people live on Earth goddamn too, and it is wild to me.
It was Richard Quest. Thank you so much. It was Richard Quest, and who would have thought? We live in the upside down where Richard Quest and I agreed. Richard Quest was going apoplectic listening to the nonsense of Clay Travis from MAGA and Steve Bannon's co-host Natalie. I don't know what her last name was. Piers tried his best to polish the turd, but even he knows this is bad. And he tried his best. He goes, I don't know how this is going to go. I'm like, you do know how this is going to go. The markets are telling you in real time. Folks, they can't spin this. And I think it's important for the American people to call them out. I think it's important for the American people to call out Trump's bullshit. I think it's important for the American people to stand up to the bully. I think it's important for the American people to tell the emperor to his face, you have no clothes. You're a moron. You went to Wharton. Wharton should refund you because I heard you over the weekend talk about trades and tariffs. And dude, I'm an English major and I know that's not how trades work. Donald Trump, folks, if you listen to his clip over the weekend as he was trying to defend himself, believes, and he's thought this since the 80s, that any trade deficit that we have with a country means that we're being screwed by that country. He doesn't realize that some of these countries are super poor, like in Africa, where we import diamonds. They can't buy American stuff. But Danielle, you and I know when you have money, you can spend a little bit of that extra money and get the good coffee, right? And he also doesn't see that in the trade deficit, he didn't look at services or tech. He just looks at goods. So these idiots, they took a Doge member, created a formula, implemented that formula in mass against all countries, which is why islands without human beings have the
poor
baseline.
penguins.
The penguins are getting, and the penguins are winning. Even the penguins are beating Trump, and the penguins can't even speak English. The penguins didn't go to Wharton. Folks, it's a disaster. And if you don't believe me, just Danielle, I'm an English major. You're a teacher, but I think you and I know line going down. No bueno.
No fucking bueno. So here's the thing, and folks, before we dive in even further, if you have not subscribed to this channel and you are loving the content on this channel, please do hit that subscribe button and do like, comment, and subscribe to this. Democracy-ish is live Monday and Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern. The Danielle Moodie Show, 5 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday. Subscribe and share. All right. So here's the thing. You know, you're an English major. I have a master's degree in education and have a bachelor's degree in political science. I know what going down and going up looks like. That's what my 2 degrees gave me, you know, the ability of sight. And when I look at this graph, and it is stock market since Trump's inauguration, and folks, Waj, tell us or Google it. We have not hit 100 days yet. We have not hit 100 days of this administration. If folks, you have to understand, Donald Trump was inaugurated on January 20th. It is April 7th. It's April 7th. And this is where we are, where the markets are. And just to go, a little bit further, here's where we are. Last night, right? This is the world's markets, right? Jesse Rodriguez tweets out and says, international markets collapsing. This is the Nikkei, Shanghai, Shenzhen, HSI, all of them bottoming the fuck out. Bottoming the fuck out. You do not need to be an economist to realize that putting 25%, 30%, 50%, 100% tariffs on goods that we need. This is not just, the luxury vehicles that are coming in from Germany. This is our basic shit that we need and use on a regular day. Go into your kitchen, go into your closets. Half of the shit, if not 90% of it, is from another goddamn country. So the idea that you would turn around and say, well, we're just going to tariff. That was Donald Trump's favorite word.
That's right.
On the campaign trail, he said, when he was sitting in front of economic forums saying, tariffs, it's a beautiful word. I love this word.
The most beautiful word in the American language is tariffs. That's his quote from Joe Rogan before the election.
That and now groceries. So what you can't fucking afford, right? Because the tariffs are on everything that you eat, everything that you put on your body, everything that you put in your storage bins, closets, under your bed are coming from foreign nations. The reason why we have the situation that we are in right now is because of everything that Waj says. Donald Trump he only looks one step in front of him.
Yep.
And he only opens the aperture on his camera like to maybe a millimeter. He has no conceptualization of the bigger picture and also does not actually give a fuck.
Nope.
Which is what is really, really terrifying when you start to look at these announcements that are being made and you're hearing words like what? Stagflation, recession. Waj, tell them what Goldman Sachs has said now most recently.
This was last night, folks. I've been paying attention to this. Harry Enton of CNN, who does the numbers, he did a segment at 5:15 p.m. about the chance of recession, right? Goldman Sachs was the least bullish of everyone else. They played it cautious, 20 to 25%. I'm like, okay, things are happening so fast. 5 hours since that segment, this was later at night, I saw this, upgraded it to 45%. And this was before the news of today of Trump retaliating. And this is before the news of today that the EU is now planning a retaliation. And this is before the news of today where even, speaking about CNBC, the CNBC host, his name was, Joe Kernan. Mm-hmm. Joe Kernan is like, nope, he had Pete Navarro on. Now, folks, some people have mentioned this in our chat, and we have a smart audience. Pete Navarro is the main economic advisor to Donald Trump. The question is, well, how did he find Pete Navarro? So Rachel Maddow did a good segment. In 2017, during the first administration, Donald Trump, obsessed with tariffs and trade war in China since the 80s, right? He doesn't understand how trades and tariffs work. He thinks that anytime there's a deficit, we're being, wait for it, screwed. Because again, this mother effer went to Wharton, apparently didn't take a single class, complete moron. So he tells, Jared to find me an advisor. Jared apparently goes on Amazon, Googles, finds a book that Pete Navarro wrote about China, literally says, oh, this guy wrote a book about China that mimics what Donald likes, brings in Pete Navarro. That's how Pete Navarro became the economic advisor. In the book, folks, the reason why people are saying Ron Vera, Pete Navarro cites an expert, Danielle, right, about his batshit, hawkish theories. The expert he cites is a man by the name of Ron Vara, V-A-R-A. Later, we discovered Ron Vera does not exist. Do you know who Ron Vera is, folks?
No.
Navarro. It's an anagram of Navarro. He cited himself. So Ron Vera is Navarro. That's the man whom Donald Trump is relying upon for economic policy, which threatens to send the world into a global recession. And when it comes to national security, as we discussed last week, he is listening to Laura Loomer, a hate monger, a bigot, a conspiracy theorist who is so nuts that Marjorie Taylor Greene, she of Jewish space lasers, said she's nuts. This is where we are.
I mean, like, in all honesty, I don't even know why I'm shocked. Like, why I'm shocked that the best that they can do for an economics advisor is to Google and see who's on Amazon and not even fact check or look into or actually read the books that they say that these people are writing and citing, and oh, they're only the best people and brilliant. But folks, I want to remind you of something as well, which is this. Every single fucking time that the United States has had an economic meltdown, who were the presidents? Waj, what party were they from?
Let me guess. The Panocrats? Have you seen Donald Trump's latest tweet? The Panocrats? He told everyone to stop being a Panocrat. We'll talk about that in a second. No, Republicans. Not the
Republicans.
Panocrats.
And yet Republicans have been able to curate a narrative over decades that would have the country believe that they are the arbiters of a healthy economy. And yet every single time that they are given a healthy economy from a Democrat, they tank that fucking economy. Now, I don't understand. I've never understood how Democrats have not been able to figure out how to message around this very clear fact that every time that Democrats are in office, they are digging out of an economic ditch. They are digging out of trillions of debt that Republicans have added to the country. Why they have not been able to say, what are Republicans actually good at? Not a goddamn thing. Actually, whenever they are in charge, the American people suffer. And then the American people in 4 years go, ooh, this doesn't feel so good. And then Democrats come into office and then they say, but you're not making me feel better fast enough.
That's
Even
right.
though you have allowed Republicans to be in office and tank your American dream, foreclose on your home, wipe out your 401k, deny your children the opportunity to go to school, because guess what? You can't afford a six-figure debt, right, for a higher education. It is rinse and repeat every single time. And then you know the truth that guess what? The man who you're handing over the economy to bankrupted a casino.
Six times. Bankrupted.
6 times has bankrupted a casino.
No,
and
he's been bankrupt. He's been a bankruptee 6 times, and he's also bankrupted a casino. Just doing a fact. Sorry, that was my mistake. I didn't mean to mislead him.
Casino,
6 times, Danielle.
6 times bankruptcy. And yet this man has been able to make a political career and make an entire career on smoke and mirrors of him being a businessman that understands the art of the deal. What he is the Wizard of MAGA. What he is and what he's been able to do is lie and grift and give people enough of what they want to hear and enough of what they want to see so that they buy into his bullshit. But nowhere over the course of his 6 bankruptcies can you say, oh, this man knows what he's doing when it comes to business. And also, not to mention the fact that he was fined for lying about his real estate deals and saying that he had more square footage and more to offer buyers than he actually did. He defrauded people out of an education with Trump University. Trump Steaks went bankrupt because he was probably selling fucking chicken and calling it steak. Like, everywhere, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
So these are the facts. The 6 bankruptcies were the result of over-leveraged hotel and casino businesses in Atlantic City, New York. The Trump Taj Mahal, 91. Trump Plaza Hotel Casino, 92. Plaza Hotel, 92. Trump Castle Hotel and Casino, 92. Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, 2004. and Trump Entertainment Resorts 2009. So, folks, the man who's the master of the art of the deal, that a plurality of Americans elected to turn the economy around because he promised to bring down inflation and the price of X, has been bankrupted 6 times. As Danielle mentioned, Trump University folded. Why? Had to give out $25 million to settle a fraud lawsuit. Trump charity folded. Why? Had to give out millions of dollars to settle, wait for it, lawsuit. Trump organizations owe New York more than $400 million because they have been held liable for fraud. This is the man whom we are told right now, as the stock market in real time, as we're talking, is collapsing, which might trigger a global recession. Don't worry. He'll figure it out. That's what Piers Morgan told me. You know, we don't know with Donald Trump. We don't know how this will work out. No, we know. We know in the past and we know right now. And the reason why, Danielle, I think the people fall for it in America. Gore Vidal said, it's the United States of amnesia. We have the attention span of gnats. We want everything now. Super size, you know, Wi-Fi right now, 5G, 10G. Secondly, what the Republicans have done since the 60s, but before that, the Southern strategy. Hey, look at those blacks. Look at those blacks getting ahead. It's that black who took your cookie.
On it.
It's that Latino who took that taco. It's that Asian who took your, who had a little bit more chicken in his chicken tikka masala. You're not getting ahead because of the gay, the feminist, the black, the Haitian. Yeah, you're the idiot who lost your pet, but I think the Haitian ate your pet. They eat pets. And then all these workers go, really? The Haitian? The black? The welfare queen? The Muslim? The Latino? The undocumented immigrant? Not Rupert Murdoch? Donald Trump?
Elon Musk?
Jamie Dimon, who just right now, when it affected their bottom line, some other breaking news, Jamie Dimon, who told people, hey, inflation. What was the quote? I'm going to get the quote for you from Jamie Dimon because it's even worse. He just did a 180. That same man, Jamie Dimon, the billionaire, last year did what Megyn Kelly and everyone else is saying is, it won't be that bad. Now that it hit their bottom line, folks, Jamie Dimon has turned the page, and billionaire Bill Ackman, who was perfect. Oh, look at that. That's an amazing. This is why we're paid the big money, Danielle. Bill Ackman, billionaire, the man who sided with Trump to attack, wait for it, Danielle, the woke, people of color, women, pro-Palestinian activists. This man lost his mind in the past year and a half, was perfectly fine, bringing it all down. Universities, student protesters, the libs, sided with Donald Trump, a billionaire who was so angry, so unhappy. This man has more money than most of us and couldn't get off Twitter trolling everyone. That Bill Ackman. Well, what happened to Bill Ackman in, 24 hours, Danielle, that made him do a 180 like this? Can you please let me know?
How many millions of dollars did he lose in the market right now? Right. So here's the thing. All of the stuff that you've listed out, because I did a video, folks, and it's up now, that Wall Street is now is at the find out part of the fuck around, that I did over the weekend, because I said, you know what? They didn't care about the racism and the shithole countries and the Muslim ban. They didn't care about the children in cages. They didn't care about the anti-Semitism. They didn't care about the bathroom bans and the transphobia. They did not care about the reversal of Roe v. Wade. They did not care about the reversal of affirmative action. They did not care about the attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion. What they care about is what this motherfucker just said in his tweet yesterday, which is there is still time for a ceasefire before millions of people get hurt. Well, here's the thing. People have been hurting over the last decade, but they didn't look like you and they didn't have as much money as you do. You didn't care.
That's right.
Because this is the first they come for. He's never going to harm me. He loves me. It's never going to happen to me, leopards eating face. It is never going to happen to me. Oh, I know that Donald Trump has defrauded students and hasn't paid his contractors and took out a full-page ad to call for the execution of 5 innocent Black boys in the night. Like, I know all of these things to be true, but I don't know those Haitians. I don't know those Muslims. I don't know or give a shit about those Black people. I don't care about those women. I don't care about those trans people. I don't care about those gays, right? Because they are not me. They don't come to my country club. They don't play on my golf course. So I don't give a fuck. The thing that these people never seem to understand until everything collapses around them is that we are all connected. Our fates are intertwined. When the least of us does well, everyone does well. When we take care of the world in terms of the way that we have fundamentally extracted from these countries in Africa, that we've destroyed their economies, that we have played God with their elected officials and their elections, that we've taken people out so that we can extract more. Then we want to turn around and turn ourselves into philanthropists and say, oh, let us start the USAID. Well, guess why you need that? Because you've destroyed these countries. You've destroyed these people, and then you want to turn around and then provide them with what? Grants and aid. When what they needed for you to do was mind your colonizing ass out of their affairs. But you didn't do it. So every time that we enter some type of collapse, it is because they think that they are at the top of the pyramid and that the collapse won't hit them. Well, guess what you need in order to stay at the top? You need a strong foundation. And once the foundation crumbles, your ass will come crashing down. It is only a matter of fucking time. TikTok.
Amen. I love a great Danielle sermon, and you know to stand back and let her breathe fire when she is on. It's exactly right. And here's proof in the pudding. Jamie Dimon, the billionaire. This is what he said in January. If it's a little inflationary, but it's good for national security, so be it. Get over it. Exact quote. Jamie Dimon in January. Jamie Dimon today, quote, the quicker this issue is resolved, the better, because some of the negative effects increase cumulatively over time and would be hard to reverse. Danielle and I are not sociopaths. I might look like one, but I'm not, I assure you. I don't need people to suffer to feel great again, whether they're my MAGA friends or foes. My enemies online, my trolls, the people who tell me to go back to my country, right? The people who call me an invader and a terrorist. Even then, Danielle, even then, I still, because I'm not a sociopath, you know, I don't need them to suffer. I don't want them to suffer to feel great again. Even those people, I want their children to have economic prosperity. I want them to have stability. I want them to find good partners in life. I want them to have health care. And I want them to have better opportunities than me and my parents' generation. You push things forward. Like you said, we are all connected. These rich mother effers are sociopaths. They do not have empathy. They do not care. They are telling people in real time, like we said last week, Megyn Kelly, multimillionaire, got $69 million from NBC News to replace. You all think we're making it up, folks. Here's another example. The whitest woman on earth, racist Megyn Kelly, got $69 million from NBC News to replace Tamron Hall and Al Roker, 2 Black co-hosts of a popular show. Megyn Kelly's show tanked. Didn't even last a year. Those 2 Black anchors lost their job. Tamron Hall left NBC, won Emmys. That Megyn Kelly, who's sitting about near $100 million, is joining JD Vance and Clay Travis and all the MAGA people, telling people, live through it. Buy the dip. And now even billionaires who have a lot of money, because you know what Republicans love? Republican donors, folks. You know what they love more than racism? And you might be shocked.
Like, what could they possibly love more?
You're like, no, bro, they love money. They love money more than racism. Even more than racism, Waj and Danielle, even more. And you know what they hate? Losing money, which is why you get a Bill Ackman and a Jamie Dimon. But there's still some MAGA folks putting a turd polish on. You wanna show us what Stephen Miller's saying?
Oh, yes. So here is Stephen Miller, who is, I don't, anyway, let me not digress with my thoughts about his appearance. So, Stephen Miller, why are American streets filled with cars from Europe and Japan, but their streets are empty of American cars, even as we provide defense and security for both? And let me read you the reply here because it's so gorgeous. Ali Rizivi says this because their cars are better, more fuel efficient, last longer, cost less, and have a good resale value. This is like asking why your wife thinks about Brad Pitt while she's fucking you. It's not just because he has hair and you don't.
Classic. Ali and I go back and forth for the many years, but when he's on, he's on. Even they got Ali to cook. Folks, can I share with you my Stephen Miller story?
Please. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. So yesterday, around 5 p.m., my son played football for the first time, flag football. Afterwards, we go to Tyson Mall. If you're here in Virginia, you know there's Tyson Mall 1 and 2. 2 is a little fancier one. We go to Tyson Mall's 1 to return a Lego set. It's just way too expensive in this economy. So here I am dressed like a middle-aged dad, like I usually dress, with my Honda minivan, with my son behind me, 10 years old, sweet boy in his cleats, with a giant-ass Lego bag. I'm about to cross the street, enter the Tyson Mall. I smell around, and I have a sense, but I do not see, but I sense evil afoot. I sense evil afoot, and I look up, I'm like, Spidey sense tingling. And I see Stephen Miller's bald head. And I see Stephen Miller in front of me. I'm like, is that mother for Stephen Miller? It is Stephen Miller. Having a great time, exiting Macy's, and there are 2 black SUVs with tinted windows waiting for him. He gets in, he's about to get in to the back seat, not the front seat, which means he has what? A driver. And there's a security or bodyguard person going like this, right? Making sure he gets in. All right. I'm on the sidewalk. I have to cross him to get to the entrance. He's on the street. He's about to duck in to the car. I couldn't resist Danielle. So in a very civil way, middle-aged dad with a big-ass yellow Lego bag, I say, Stephen, you're hurting families, man. You're hurting families. Exact quote. All I said. He pauses like this. So suppose you're me and I'm you. He doesn't look at me. He goes like this and then sits down. Then all of a sudden, the bodyguard, security guard looks at me and goes, sir, you need to keep moving. And in hindsight, I thought about it. Not really. It's a sidewalk. Like, right? Like it's a sidewalk. Like I don't have to keep moving. Free country. I didn't do anything. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I didn't get in front of his face. I was very civil. And then I couldn't help it. I had to look at her for a second. I'm like, because the old school comes out, the Daisy comes out. I just looked at her and I said, yeah, sure. And then I just kept walking afterwards. I shared this. I felt compelled to say this. He looked so relaxed that I'm pretty confident no one said anything to him in Macy's. But folks, the reason why I said it is I believe it is important to make these people uncomfortable. I believe it is perfectly fine to make them legally uncomfortable. If I had more time, if my son wasn't there, if I knew he wasn't as vindictive as he is, I would have said some more things, folks. But I got my son behind me. There was a security guard telling me, you need to keep moving. I would have said some more stuff. But I'm no hero, just some liquid courage. And I believe confidence and courage and hope is contagious. Once people see a middle-aged dad with a big-ass yellow Lego bag speaking up to this mother effer, looking him at his face, I think more people will stand up and say things, especially as these grifters keep grifting, especially, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later. You know what really bothered me? Here he was enjoying his Sunday, chilling with 2 SUV cars, a driver, and a security guard buying shit as fathers were being imprisoned and tortured in El Salvador and their families were crying. So anyway, that's my Stephen Miller story.
Let me tell you something. So first off, liquid courage, you don't drink. So I'm assuming that the liquid courage was try. And 2, you know, bravo to you, because we are living in a time, and I know that you know this, where people who look like us,
Mm.
or don't look like us, frankly, because white folks know that you are no longer safe, are getting picked up for less. And I do think, as our listeners are saying now, that that was brave to do. Because if we are not going to take the opportunity to speak the truth while we still can, then what is the fucking point?
Mm.
Right? Like, if we have the opportunity to say something, and I like the fact that it was civil. I like the fact that you didn't curse. I like the fact that you didn't yell, and you just said you're hurting families. So while you get to go home to yours, while you get to shop freely on a Saturday or a Sunday and enjoy your weekend with glee, right?
Mm.
There are people that are trying to put together, literally, rub together 15 cents and try and turn it into $1 and try and afford the same medication and the same groceries that were cheaper 5 months ago. And so, you know, this is a lesson and a testament, Waj, one, to your character, and a lesson to all of us, that each and every single one of us, everyone that is listening, everyone that is watching, has the opportunity to say something. Because when you don't say something, when you allow the moments to pass you by, right, there are so many people who don't have that privilege right now. So while we still do, use it. Because in the meantime, what are these people doing while everyone is trying to figure out, like chitty chitty bang bang, how to try to make $1 out of 15 cents? This is what they're doing. This is the White House bobblehead Barbie press secretary of the United States showing her $4,800 Louis Vuitton bag that you and I fucking bought.
$4,800. Folks, I don't know anything about bags. I'm a stereotypical man. I shared this story once before, if I may share it again. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was in Singapore out for a speech. I got paid a lot. They needed an emergency speaker, okay? I looked at my bank account, Danielle, and for the first time, I had a little bit of money. First time, okay? I made my mom a promise when we were both homeless, when my mom was about to go to jail and when we were broke. My mom used to make us, my mom tried to be hopeful, and she said, Inshallah, one day, Wajahat, when you make it, you'll buy me a nice purse. My mom's an immigrant mom. Immigrant moms across the board, I don't know what's in the water. Jamaican, Asian, they love Louis Vuitton. All right. They love the Louis Vuitton. All right. So my mom, she's one of those people, immigrant mom, shops at Costco, but she has an eye. She knows all the brands, never buys it for herself. Right. So she said, Danielle, to me, Beta, one day we will get through this. Inshallah, Allah will help us and you'll make it. I have faith in you. And when you make it, you give your mom a Louis Vuitton bag. She was just saying it, to pep up our spirits. So I promised her. So 12 years later, I'm in Singapore and I see Louis Vuitton. I see a Louis Vuitton salon. I'm like, oh, Louis Vuitton. Immigrant moms love Louis Vuitton. So I go there and I do I FaceTime my mom and my dad and I say, Ammi, is this the bag you wanted? And my mom, she's like, no. Let me just see one. So she saw one of the bags. It was super expensive. And she's like, Beta, son, you can't buy that for me. You can't. It's too much. No way. Right. So I said, sure. I called my dad later. I said, listen, she really likes that bag, right? Abu said, listen, you don't have to buy it for her. She's an immigrant mom. The fact that you even remembered is like made her heart swell, right? I made the promise. So folks, I shared it on Facebook. It was the first time I ever had a little bit of money. This is symbolic for me because I made my mom a promise when we were both homeless and broke. I got paid a lot of money. I bought this, not this bag, but a bag for her. But I also, son of immigrants, got it on a discount. Right? Okay, listen. Caroline Levitt bought this $4,800 bag and now took a photo and is sharing that photo to Waj from 14 years ago, who was stretching $1 to help his family. They're sharing this while Americans are working paycheck to paycheck, right? Donald Trump hosted a $1 million a plate dinner on Friday as the earth is in turmoil. Folks, please tell me how they are in touch with the average Americans. Please tell me how this is not the definition of elitism. Please tell me how this is not a sociopathic tendency does not give a shit about the American people. And thank you for letting me share my story. I thought of Louis Vuitton. I thought of that story. Sorry.
You know, and I love it so much. I'm also really grateful for the fact that my mother does not like designer things. So
My
like,
mom, it's in my mom's one bag.
like,
She
I'm
wears the shit out of that bag. She takes
I
it
bet
everywhere.
she does. And I bet that it's you know, and look, I don't shade people at all because I too like luxury, right? Like I do not shade people at all. However, when you are the cause of
That's right.
so much suffering, and this is the type of shit that you are doing, which is taking photos to post on your social media with your $5,000 bag, but they have the audacity to call out Kamala Harris for wearing like a Tiffany's bangle or whatever. Because guess what? Black people, brown people, you're not supposed to have those things. You're not supposed to have nice things. It's the same reason why you have people going after the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan, over her show, because guess what? Black women, you're not supposed to have ease. You're not supposed to have luxury. You're not supposed to have joy. Your life is supposed to be hard, right? You're supposed to be in tears. You're supposed to be suffering, right? And that's what they want. And so when you see these headlines of Donald Trump hosting $1 million dinner, I'm sure that there are many of those CEOs, right, who are now all of a sudden leopards eating face saying, oh, he's hurting us, going there, throwing the millions of dollars at him in hopes that he'll stop the trade war, in hopes that he will listen to them, because it's just all one big major fucking grift. And meanwhile, again, what are the American people doing? I said this last week on the Danielle Moodie show. I said, you know, this is wild. Easter eggs are so expensive, Americans are dying potatoes. With costs high and supply short, people are getting creative with Easter egg traditions. That is not creativity, folks. We are actually inside the fucking Hunger Games. Okay? The movie that everybody loves so fucking much is now your life. This is not people getting creative, right? This is what Donald Trump's bullshit tariff war and lack of thinking and care has caught. And this is just one. Wait until we get to Thanksgiving. Wait until we get to, right, the religious holidays in December. Just wait, folks, because again, we have not reached the 100-day mark. So just wait until we get to the first full fucking year of this regime, what Americans will be doing. And guess what? It won't be so cute to put up on fucking Etsy or Instagram.
Each community has to offer a tribute, and then the fighters will get into a ring, a UFC ring, and then Donald Trump and Dana White will stream it on pay-per-view, and they'll make money off it. You think I'm kidding, but I'm not. It's going to be like that book. I don't know if you read that book, came out 2 years ago, Chain Gang All-Stars, great novel, dystopian novel, written by a black man, imagining a future where the corporations profit off of prison labor, making them into gladiators and having them fight to the death for the chance of survival. All this dystopian fiction, folks, is coming real. We're painting potatoes. And speaking about dystopian fiction, some more breaking news right now, folks. I'm sorry, I want to give you some good news, but this is where we're at right now.
I want to give you some good news. They know where we are.
I was able to call out the Pee Wee German Stephen Miller. That's some good news. They'll have some good news at the end also. But breaking news, as of an hour ago, the Trump administration has asked the Supreme Court to block a judge's order to return a wrongly deported Salvadoran immigrant to the United States. That wrongly deported Salvadoran immigrant was sent due to an administrative error, according to ICE, and the Trump administration itself said they should not have sent this Maryland father to El Salvador. We talked about the last show. This man, I'm forgetting his name, I think the last name is Garcia, was given withholding of removal 5 years ago. A judge reviewed his case, realized that if he went back to El Salvador, he was under threat of prosecution. In the past 5 years, he has married a U.S. citizen. They have a 5-year-old kid with disabilities who's also a U.S. citizen, happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And thanks to an administrative error, he was sent. Thank you, Abrego Garcia. Thanks so much, Jules. I knew someone would come in clutch. Abrego Garcia now is being tortured in an El Salvador prison, wrongly sent there according to the Trump administration. So the judge says, you are the most powerful man on earth. The whole world will bend to the knee. The whole world will come to you and me with my trade war. At the very least, you could pick up the phone, call Nayib Bukele, you know, the wannabe crypto gangster who runs El Salvador, the man that you've given $6 million of our money to house these nearly, 300 prisoners, to bring him back. Because Donald Trump, as Danielle said, his aperture is so small and so narrow, his heart is so tiny, he refuses, Danielle, to ever in his life concede that he's wrong. Because saying that you're wrong to him is weakness. He took the playbook from Roy Cohn, one of the great villains of the 20th century. To this day, even when the Central Park Five became the exonerated five, thanks to DNA evidence, to this day, 2025, Donald Trump says what, Danielle?
That they're guilty. That they're guilty.
He took out a full-page ad in the New York Times to have the death penalty for these innocent teenagers. There were
children.
Kids.
Okay.
So what makes you think he'll change? This is the news. 60 Minutes came out over the weekend. I mean, this made my heart sink. I was just
I wanted to throw up.
Of those nearly, how many people is there? 300, right?
So
how much?
They said this, could not find, 60 Minutes, quote, could not find criminal records for 75% of the 238 men in the Trump administration sent to Salvadorian prison. Of the 22% that had records, quote, the vast majority are from non-violent offenses. Trump administration still insists they're terrorists. Moral bankruptcy. This is the type of math,
Danielle.
Shit.
What's 75 plus 22?
Oh, you're asking me to do math. That is 7, 8, 9, 97, 5, 6, 97%.
97% of the 100% of the 200 and how much is that?
38 men.
38 men are essentially innocent men who are being punished and tortured in prison, including a gay barber whose crime was being browned legally here and having a tattoo. Sorry, Danielle, go ahead.
And I want, Deb just put this in the chat and I'm putting it up on the screen. Call your representatives. Tell them that you watch 60 Minutes. Tell them that this is abhorrent. Tell them that you do not want your tax dollars going to fund the torture of innocent fucking people. Call them, keep calling them, keep calling them, keep calling them. Because this, folks, as we say consistently, time and time again, is just the beginning. Yep. Because why were these men picked up? Because their skin was brown and they were in the right place at the wrong time.
Yep.
And then they were picked up and shipped off, never to be seen or heard from again. The violence that is being bestowed upon these communities, on our country, at the hands of vile, disgusting, racist, inhumane motherfuckers. We cannot just say, oh, this makes me feel bad. We have got to continue to call our legislators. We have got to continue, which we'll get to at the end of the show, marching, showing up, boycotting, because this shit is not going to stop until we stop it. That's just the fact. And just so you know, because I want to play this, just so you know, why we say that this is the beginning, because a reporter, the president of El Salvador, said he would be willing to take American citizens in federal prison population. Trump, I love that. Take a listen. Oh, it's not going to play. Hold 1 second. We're going to remove it, and then I'm going to upload it again. But basically, Donald Trump, this is their plan, folks. It has always been.
There said he would be willing to take American citizens in the federal prison population. Is that one of the ideas you're going to be discussing?
Well, I love that. If we could take some of our 20-time wise guys that push people into subways and that hit people over the back of the head and that purposely run people over in cars, if he would take them, I'd be honored to give them. I don't know what the law says on that, but I can't imagine the law would say anything different. If they can house these horrible criminals for a lot less money than it costs us, I'm all for it. But I'd only do according to the law. But I have suggested that, why should it stop just at people that cross the border illegally? We have some horrible criminals, American grown and born. And if we have somebody that bops an old woman over the head, if we have somebody that is in jail 20 times and goes back and shoots people all over the place and then has a bad judge or a bad prosecutor that do nothing about him, all they worry about is politics, they don't worry about that. I think if we could get El Salvador or somebody to take them, I'd be very happy with it, but I have to see what the law says. Okay, what else?
But I have to see what the law says.
Illegal.
Motherfucker, you could care less about anybody's law.
Illegal. It's illegal. Number one, folks. Number two, as Danielle said, he doesn't care about the law. Convicted criminal, fraudster, a man who's held liable for raping E. Jean Carroll and then defaming her, a man who incited a violent insurrection, a man who's given a get out of jail free card by our feckless establishment and the Republican conservative majority in the Supreme Court. He wants to export Americans to foreign gulags. That's the cliff notes right there. Donald Trump wants to export American citizens to foreign gulags. This is where we are, folks. And just a reminder as to what Danielle always says, how it can happen to anyone. Innocent, legal immigrants are in El Salvador. Students are being detained. And Danielle, not just college students, not just postdoc students.
No.
Can you tell them what other students are now being arrested by ICE?
A third grader. A third grader. This is a message from the Sackett's Harbor principal. As the principal of these students, I need to speak plainly. Our 3 students who were taken by ICE were doing everything right. They had declared themselves to immigration judges, attended courts on their assigned dates, and were following the legal process. They are not criminals. They have no ties to any criminal activity. I want to say again, he is speaking about third graders in his school. Third graders are roughly 9 and 10 years old. They are loved in their classroom. Their family has worked at the nearby Old McDonald's petting zoo and dairy farm for 15 years. They lived in a house on the same road as a home ICE had a warrant for. The fact that ICE went to the door is unfathomable. The fact that our students were handcuffed and put into the same van as an alleged criminal from down the street is unconscionable. When I think of my third graders' experience, my stomach twists and it is hard to breathe. We are in shock. And it is that shared shock that has unified our community in the call for our students' release. We are in direct communication with our students. Let me be clear. They are not being medically evaluated. They are not being questioned as potential victims. Calling a detention center by another name does not change what it is. We deserve better than spin and misinformation. My teachers and my students are already hurting. Please think about how long every hour feels for a third grader in a detention center. The wait had already been too long a week ago. I have no other agenda. Please release my students and their mother back to our community. Jamie Cook, pre-K to 12 principal, Sackett's Harbor, New York.
Third graders, folks. I have a kid who is 8 years old. I mean, I read that, and just for a second, as you were reading that, Danielle, I imagined, just reading it, you get these visual cues. I imagined what would happen, God forbid, if that was my kid. Rage. I'm a chill man, but like rage started boiling. I don't know if anyone else in our community has kids like that, or you're have kids in your family. You're an uncle or a niece. Can you imagine you getting a phone call and someone saying ICE was right here at the elementary school and handcuffed your 8-year-old son or daughter? Oh, but don't worry. Then they released him. Handcuffed him, took him away, but then they released him. Folks, that is traumatic for grown adults. Mm-hmm. Third graders the depth, the unfathomable depths of cruelty, a spiritual abyss, a vacancy of any decency or morality. This is what happens, folks, when you dehumanize people. You don't see them as individuals. You see them as vermin, as cockroaches, as a problem that needs a solution. And in the past, that solution, Danielle, has come in the form of final solutions, concentration camps, eradication. And the man who I met yesterday, Stephen Miller, this is his plan. He has been given a green light. He's a white nationalist. Him and Steve Bannon. Miller's even worse. It's all there. He thinks we're all invaders. We have hurt the American identity by taking American jobs. To him, the worst thing was the 1965 Immigration Nationality Act, which is why I'm here. I think your parents might be here also for that reason, right? He wants to undo all of it. And you know what? Just like with the economy and just like with, everything else, at first, there'll be a little bit of pain. But hey, no gain without pain. So you know what? To cleanse America and to make America great again and to make America white again, sometimes, Danielle, third graders have to be arrested and detained.
And I know, folks, these stories are dark and these stories are extraordinarily real. They're happening every single day. The big ones, the ones that people are making a big deal over, they're the ones that are making it to the news, right? But there are so many that are not. And what I want us to end with today on Democracy-ish is a bit of hope, because I think you have no idea how important hope is. That is the reason why Cory Booker stood for 25 hours to speak truth to power, to inspire people, to understand that we all have the opportunity and the platform to say something. My shirt says free thinker. Here is what folks did on April 5th. April 5th, around the country, I think the numbers keep coming in that about 1% of the US population literally marched on Saturday.
That's about 4 million.
Which
almost
is
4 million.
It was 5.2 million people across the country marched. This is just a snapshot of the images that came out. And I believe that this is just the beginning. That by the time we reach summer, that these kinds of marches, these types of actions are going to happen on a regular basis until we shut this fucking regime down. Because that is what needs to happen. It is not going to be enough to wait until midterms that I don't believe will happen. It's not going to be enough to wait until 2028 for a presidential election that I also don't believe is happening. We are going to have to understand that our currency, our money, where we put our money, where we put our voice is going to be the spoke that is going to disrupt the wheel, right? The stick that will disrupt this MAGA machine from turning. 5.2 million Americans said that they'd had a fucking enough, and it wasn't just in the liberal corners of this country. It was everywhere. And that to me is astounding, and it gives me hope, and it should inspire us all to take what actions we can, where we are, when we can.
Some people in the comments were very kind. They said you need a longer show. The funny thing is, we plan each show to be 30 minutes. They're like, we do the rundown, and I try to put a little bit more just to be safe. Like, will we have enough time? And we end up going for an hour. Danielle hosts like 500 shows. I have
you host 500 shows.
No, I don't sleep. Danielle is desperately is looking for coffee that she can afford to make her happy. We do what we can, folks. Everyone has a role to play. We are independent media. We started this from the grassroots. Danielle has been doing Democracy-ish, I think, for 3 years. She brought me on 2 years ago as the co-host, and the way she brought me on, it was really funny. she's like, hey, can you just like guest host 4 times in a row because I need someone to step in. I'm like, okay. And after the third, like after 2 months, I think she tried a few co-hosts. She goes, hey, so I'll let you in on the plan. I was auditioning co-hosts and I always wanted you. And I think you and I get along really well. You want to do it? I'm like, all right. So we've been doing it for 2 years. And I think a few months ago, we decided to finally get on this thing called the YouTubes. And we started once a week. And then in the new year, we started twice a week after you all said, do it. It's all independent. Danielle started her own YouTube channel for the first time, I think, 6 months ago, 5 months ago?
Yes, 6 months ago.
6 months ago. That meant she started with 0 subscribers. Grassroots, folks. How many do you have now?
22.2 thousand.
It went from 15 to 22.2 thousand in a week. So she's hitting like we're this is how it works in YouTube. You just got to hit these levers and then all of a sudden bang bang bang, it keeps going up. So you all have joined us each show. We have like 2200 people watching us right now, which is amazing. We started with 300, 600, 700. When Danielle and I talk about the money that we make, the amazing money that we make, the first check was like $200. I'm like, hooray, I can pay for cable and like buy my child an ice cream. And then it was 400 and then 500. So this is all grassroots. We've always been very transparent. There is no paywall because democracy dies with paywalls. Everything is free. We're like Blanche Dubois. We depend on the kindness of strangers in our community. So please keep watching. It costs nothing to like this video. We don't make the rules. The elves and the algorithm, this is how it works. Please subscribe. Ring that bell if you're watching this on YouTube. You'll be notified each time we go live. Again, we don't make the rules. The more numbers we get, the more our videos and content spreads. For all the super chatters who gave us money, the $2, the $3, the $4, the $5, it literally goes a very long way. I'm on Substack. My humble Substack now has over 55,000 subscribers. It's thelefthehook.substack.com. Like an idiot, I've kept everything for free, much to the pain of my mother and father. It's like Blanche Dubois. If you want to pay, I've kept it so cheap, $4 a month. And Danielle has a Substack. Danielle, what's your Substack?
My Substack is The Damn Digest. It is also free, but if you want to support monthly or yearly or be a super founder of my Substack, there are levels for that, and that money goes directly to me, allowing me to continue doing the work that I do, which is to be self-sustained, folks, not sustained by corporate media, not sustained by corporate entities, but sustained because of you all. And the faith and hope and vision that you see in all of us. So we appreciate you. We thank you for showing up today. I think this is a record for us right now, 2176. Folks, if you have not subscribed, please hit subscribe, like, comment, and share. We will be back.
It's a great quote, Rachel. I'm an English major. It's a great quote. Strangers.
We will be back on Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, and we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to Democracy-ish. I'm Danielle Moodie.
I'm Wajahat, and I cannot buy my mom any more Louis Vuittons. And I'm getting my wife Smarties. I married wisely. She's happy with the Smarties. That's what she's getting.
Amazing. We will see you back here on Friday, dear friends. Inshallah. Appreciate you.